right, guys, no trading for me on Thursday. I had technical difficulties. Windows did an update on my computer and I lost everything. I lost the graphics card, the scroll pad, the mouse. It wouldn't register any of my monitors. The power cord wouldn't register. Slow all day. I was working with Gemini AI to fix every little issue, and I had to go deep diving and to figure it all out. And slowly my battery was draining and it was a mess. Anyways, I was without a computer Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I didn't get a computer till Sunday and I was exhausted. So I was going to show you a video. I was going to do a video on how I use AI to create ThinkScript code, custom code for Thinkorswim. I'll get that out in the next couple weeks. All right, you guys, I want to tell you that I have been trying to up my share size. And I'm going to have to back off because I'm realizing these last 2 weeks, summer trading is in session. And I went back through 3 years of my journals. And I do tend to lose money in the summer because there is low volume. And I've said it in my videos these last 2 weeks that I've been bummed out because the stocks I like to trade just have no volume and higher spreads, and it's been a lot harder. So you notice that my goal has always been for 2026, $200 a day. And I slowly started increasing my share size to start slowly getting up to that $400 a day so that by the time January comes and I want to start making 400, I need to ease into it. Well, it was a struggle. I did it these last couple weeks, but it was hard, and it's going to get harder, I think, with summer schedule or with summer trading. So what I'm going to do is I'm backing off increasing share size unless it's a really good A+ setup, lots of news, momentum, yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to be happy with anywhere between 100 and 200. If I can get even over that, I'll be happy. I'm not going to push it this summer. I'm going to focus this summer on my skill level and just mastering scalping, and it's going to be harder. So this is now, I'm backing off and somewhere between 100 and 200. And then right when fall hits, I'm going to start increasing that because I want to bump that up and I want to keep on track. This has been a good goal for me to have. And then over here, if any of you are wondering, if you haven't seen this, that's what age I'll be. And who knows if I'll get there, but we'll try. Okay, guys, enough of that. I want to show you now what my plan is going forward at work today. And I want to show you what I'm watching on the chart and how I'm scalping a little bit differently now that it's summer trading and I'm going much lower share size, and I'm really focusing on the ask. I want to see what it is that I can get out of my trade for. And I'm focusing exactly on where I entered and what I can get. And I'm just getting out. I'm not trying to linger or hold on. Once the ask hits what I feel I want for that scalp, if it's 5 cents or whatever, from where I got in, that's what I want. And then I'm going to show you how my volume bars, almost all day, every stock I traded was just below average. And I'll show you that average line. And normally when I'm trading, when I'm scalping, everything is above average. That's what I look for. Well, there just isn't anything above average right now in the stocks that I like to trade. Now, also to let you know, I used to trade earlier in the year, I was trading those pre-market runners that are, penny stocks, dollar stocks, whatever. I might have to go back to that. If that's where the volume is and where the momentum is, you might see me starting to do that a little more often in pre-market. Okay, let's go see what I did, and I'm going to show you what I'm looking for now when I scalp. All right, guys, this is going to be a really fast video. So I thought for people who don't watch my videos, maybe you're new, I've had quite a few questions on how do I know which stocks to trade. This is one of my monitors. The monitor is very far away from me, kind of up high, so it's not my main monitor. And I have 12 tickers on the screen, all on 5-minute charts and all with news underneath them, except SPY and QQQ, upper top left. You'll see I only put news for the Qs because it's usually the same as the SPY. And all I do is during the day, I'm working at my computer. I have a business that I run, and I just want to glance up and see if any of my tickers that I like to trade are running. Like NVIDIA always runs the last 10 minutes. I mean, if you're ever looking for a trade, the last 10 minutes, NVIDIA always runs up. But you'll notice how I could just glance up and see that we've got a push here on maybe it's news, maybe it's something else has happened. But I can just look up, glance, and real quick pull that ticker up, take a quick trade, one quick scalp, and get out. And you'll notice a lot of my tickers, I tend to take 1 or 2 quick scalps and I move on. Now you'll notice here, MU's still running. I was almost going to sit and trade this, but after hours, I've never traded it after hours. I did trade it this morning pre-market, and I'll show you that. And I probably should have kind of stuck to it here, but let's get rid of this now that you see that. And then the other thing I use over here are my watch lists, and I sort them mostly by volume and percent change. So I've got all stocks right here on the left,
And I've got all stocks again on the left. This is just the general all stock scan. It just scans the entire market. I don't care what the price is. I don't care anything. I just want to know which one's at the very top running on the most volume and which one has had the highest percent change at any given moment. And that's how I use those like a scanner. I don't have a scanner going during the day. I'm just watching that. And then let's start with MU. So I was trading pre-market. That's scary, especially right at 6 o'clock. You'll notice this candle, which is 9 o'clock East Coast time. 30 minutes before the open, especially on something like MU, is really scary to trade. But I glanced up at that 12 stock chart that I showed you, or a monitor, and I saw this huge, it was like 20 some dollar candle right here on news. So I waited till it pulled back and I got in and I literally just took one scalp and only 10 shares because we are 30 minutes from the open. That is not when I want to be trading MU. MU has always about $1 spread, 50 cents to $1, especially pre-market. And you can see the spread right here. The spread label is showing your after hours. That's exactly what's happening at the moment. It's a high spread. So I'm in and out really fast. And I literally, it came up. I'm waiting for it to pull back to the 9 EMA. And then I just get in. Now here, I just got in as soon as I saw it moving. I'm looking at the volume bars to tell me when to get in. I'm not waiting to get in after it passes this red candle. I don't care. I just want it to pull back. The news is very good. I trade MU regularly, so I know at this point it's most likely going to hold above this 9 EMA at least once for one good pullback, and then it didn't. It came down. Now, it did get held up by the 21 EMA, and then it came back up, but I just wanted a one and done, and that was it. And I'm watching these volume bars. Those are the day trading for success volume bars that I use. And the buyers, I want to see them jump up to the top if I'm going long. So we saw that right here on really high volume. I mean, the candle before that was just nothing. And then it shoots up. And then this gray line right there that you see behind those bars, that's the average. So normally I focus my trading only on above average volume. So the candles that are above volume, above average. But I have not had that opportunity very much during the day lately. We've been hovering at average or below. And so I've had to get very picky, and I've had to definitely watch my bid and ask over here, the spread. So let's move on and I'll show you that. This was just $13.46, only 10 shares. I didn't want to mess with that. So Tesla. Lately, I've been doing good on Tesla. I always did terrible on Tesla, but now that people have moved a lot of their day trading over to SpaceX, Tesla's easier to trade. For any of you that want to trade Tesla, it is actually easier. So again, I'm just watching. This was $60.30. At the beginning, I was only doing 25 shares right here. And I'm really just watching, like I said, these volume bars. We were above average, so that was good. And this is just after the open. I like to wait about 15 minutes after the open just to let everything shake out, all the market orders and all that. And for stocks to try to pick at least somewhat of a direction. So I did a quick scalp here and I literally waited for it to pull back to this 9 and then I scalped it up here and then it came up. I did not trade it in here and I may have been looking away at Marvel or Nvidia and then came back to it. I don't remember. I didn't write that down in my notes. But when it just kept going up and up and up, and I couldn't really understand why because there was actually a little bit of bad news on it on Tesla. It was the crash they had that's going to be under federal investigation. So I did not really want to chase it. I was actually waiting for a pullback and I wanted something more than just pulling back to the 9. I kind of wanted to come down to at least the 21, or I wanted it to reverse and I really wanted to take it short. So I traded a little bit in here because it felt like it just was going to keep going. And then it got kind of hung up in this area. And that's when I decided to wait and try to take it short over here. I actually wanted it to come back. And then I think that was it. Whoops. Let's see. Let me see if I can get this. Yeah, that was it. I just traded right at the end of the day and made $60.30. All right, let's go look at Marvel. This was pretty quick. Marvel, I will trade it every now and then. It just wasn't something I was really focused on. But notice how we came down. This is another thing I like to look for. When price at the very open is shooting down and takes a big dump, it'll sometimes pull back to that 9 and drop again and find a new low. And then I like to take that up. It's kind of like a V pattern, but sometimes it'll have a pullback. Sometimes it doesn't. And then I like to see here where I think that it's pretty much come down here. And then look over here on the 15-minute chart. I was watching this. This was a previous level right here, and it had hit that a couple times, and I felt that it was going to come up. And I'm watching my volume bars, of course, and making sure that I'm following volume. And then the spread on here was a little bit high. Let me try to open this up for those of you who have not seen this. And so I'm also looking over here. So if I'm going to buy the ask, I'm looking at the ask when I get in. So right here, when I get in, and then when I get out, I'm hovering my cursor or my mouse over sell the bid, and I am watching this bid, because if there's low volume and a high spread, this can change in a heartbeat. So I want to be really careful, and I want to tap sell the bid right when I see that I'm going to be able to get out. All right, so I also have sell the ask and buy the bid right here, just in case I want to use those. I've used them a couple times a couple weeks ago, but I just recently put them back here just so I have more options. All right, and then I noticed I was using buy and sell market today, and it was horrible. I would see my order just moving against me and waiting to get filled. So I would prefer buy the ask and sell the bid if possible, or sell the ask, buy the bid. All right, let's move on to NVIDIA. NVIDIA was just a quick $21.30. It was low share size for me on NVIDIA. I dropped back down to 25 and 50 shares. Again, because look at this volume here. This is horrible. This is not what NVIDIA is normally like. I mean, don't get me wrong. There was good volume. You could trade it, but I had to be very careful because look at almost all these candles are below average on volume. And that's just not easy to trade. It's still doable, but not easy. So I did try to capture some early, very early at the open movement, and I got a quick scalp in. And then over here, I shorted. I was waiting. This was kind of going kind of sideways. The 9 and 21 are too close together, and we're really only moving about 40 cents, sometimes only 10 cents. So I just waited for the 9 to cross over the 21 and go down below it. And I knew I wanted to short it. So I took a short here. And then right over here, I got in. And that was it, $21.30. It was too hard to trade. It was impossible. It just wasn't enough volume or movement. Even between the candles, you'd get maybe 3-cent candle. That's it, 3-cent candles. Well, I need like 5 or 10-cent moves, so I don't want to sit around and just wait. I like to scalp really fast. So this one, I got in actually with 200 shares. I just got in and out really fast, and just to see if I could just scalp and make a little bit. Well, I didn't do so good. And I really was trying to get it to pull back and go down, but the volume was low and the spread was a little higher. So I actually struggled on that. I thought by upping my share size, I could maybe just get in really fast and out. It just didn't quite work here. I only made $6.11 and I just moved on. That was it. Good enough for me. Now, I did see this and was wishing I could have caught it, but look, immediately when this shot up, it came down the exact same amount. It was just hard to trade today. Okay, you guys, that's it. I wanted to show you how that's been challenging and how I've been having to really watch the bid and the ask right here and these volume bars when I get in. And then I'm trying to stop trading by that first hour in the morning and maybe just a little bit at this power hour, but it hasn't been that great. But we'll see how the rest of the week goes. Okay, guys, let me know how you did. Hope you did fantastic. And I hope you didn't get caught up in the Microsoft update and have anything screw you up. All right, guys, bye.